Hey guys, welcome to Short and Sweet, where hopefully we'll keep this short and sweet. One of the most requested videos we get is how do we choose our teas. So we were sent these samples from a Fuding producer, and they're two Bai Hao Yin Zen or Silver Needle. We're gonna drink them side by side and go through it with you guys play by play. So this is the one that is, the one over here is thought to be the higher grade, we'll call it grade A. And then over here, we have what we'll call the grade B. It's a slightly lower elevation tea from a different town. So we're gonna be using 90 degrees Celsius. We are gonna be using 5 grams of leaf. We are using 150 milliliter vessels, but we're only gonna be using 100 milliliters of that. So the measurements we're gonna be using is 5 grams per 100 milliliters, 90 degrees Celsius, and we're gonna start with 30 seconds. And we're gonna correspond each gaiwan with each other piece of teaware. So this is the grade 1, this is the grade 1, this is the grade 1, excuse me, A. This is the grade B, this is the grade B, this is the grade B. All right, so again, 30 seconds for each. So I'm not gonna give these guys a rinse. I'm just gonna go ahead and go in on it. So I'm really excited about this. Silver Needle is a tea that every year I really hope to carry, but often the price often exceeds what I think the enjoyability of the tea really is. So this is a producer that we have worked with before, not for the store, but we did it at a private buy, and it was excellent tea. So we're hoping that maybe one of these we can carry this spring. So, ooh. Off of aroma. Wow, okay, some brothy notes. I get a little bit of floral, a little bit of brothiness. Green. I almost get like a cooked broccoli from that one. The aroma is a little bit more subtle with this one. Maybe a little bit more on the juicy side. A little bit more on the juicy side. So, and I'm sorry I didn't talk about the aroma, but you'll see from the zoom in that I showed that they're both hairy, they're both buds, they're both Bai Hao Yin Zen, Silver Needle. So there's a lot that I could really go into about the appearance, but they're both very beautiful teas. So right off the appearance, really actually not that big of a difference. So we're gonna take these and thankfully pour ourselves a cup. I want to cheers to you guys at home. Hopefully you're enjoying something along with us. So this is our first side-by-side YouTube tasting. This is Bai Hao Yin Zen, Silver Needle. Let's go. Ooh, very sweet. Very, very juicy. Very, very juicy. A really nice, kind of cooling, soft, very, very soft floral. Not soft as in weak, soft as in texture. It just feels incredibly velvety soft. There's just there is a beautiful vibrance to this tea. It is just screaming spring. Overall, really wonderful, really clean texture. Very, very juicy. Grade B. Okay. Little bit on the lighter side. Different, very different florals. This is kind of strange. I'm getting cucumber. I'm getting, I'm getting cucumber. I'm getting cucumber, I'm getting sweetness, I'm getting a It's a, stay with me here, it's a perfumey floral, but it's actually very pleasant. It's not overly perfumey. It's just, that is the type of sensation I get when I drink it. So here we go again on the, this is the Silver Needle. This is the grade A. Wow, okay, we're already, you're going back and you're getting the texture change immediately is apparent. This extremely smooth, really crisp. The body of the tea has texture, but also feels very airy. Really, really nice and airy. It definitely has the weight that it should of liqueur, but it has this beautiful lifty character to it. Whereas this one, again, I'm getting a little bit more of this cucumber. I mean, I'm thinking about times where I've been making a salad and I've been cutting up a lot of cucumber and a lot of the juices are coming out from you cutting it. And so I'm getting a lot of those really nice, again, cucumbery notes. Much more delicate in flavor than this one. So not only was the aroma stronger with the A, but I'm noticing that the flavor is stronger and cleaner in as far as steep 1 goes with this tea. I'm going to spare you the rest of my talking and finish up the rest of these steeps, and I'll see you in a minute. Don't forget to feed your tea pet. So here we go. Steep 2. Again, we're doing 90 degrees Celsius. We did a first steep of 30 seconds. We're actually going to add just about 10 seconds onto that steep. I want to push this tea because I want to see if either one of them start to show any even signs of vulnerability, of dying out early, becoming bitter, anything like that. Now, these brewing tests I'm talking about, they are not anywhere near as stringent as the cupping sets where they're using boiling water for 30 seconds for every tea. I'm definitely doing this, I'm tailoring each tasting session towards the tea that I am drinking. And I'm not brewing them quite as hard, but I like to push their limitations. That's a big thing about how I choose the teas that go on to consideration for the store, is when does it start giving out? When do flavors stop evolving? When do I start to feel the texture fall flat? When does this happen? How quickly do things change? How vibrant is it? All of these matter. And all of those, as just as exciting as that, can change steep to steep. So a tea that isn't as impressive on the first steep can really wow me after that. So it's really worth sitting down and doing these sessions. For me, doing them gong fu. People that taste tea side by side and just go down with the cupping sets, that's surely one way to do it. But I have the cupping sets. I experiment with it from time to time, and I'll tell you, this is by far the way that I get to know these teas really, really well. And I would hope to think that helps me making my buying decisions. So again, we're going in now with 90 degrees water, and we're doing this for 40 seconds. 40. Every spring when I start to think of what teas I want to carry and what ones I have my eyes on, I always, out of my stupid little mouth, I talk about Silver Needle, and everyone's ears always perk up and they're like, oh really? A Silver Needle? Please tell me more. And I get real excited, and then I find one, and it's stellar, it's fantastic, and it's beautiful, and it's tasty, and then I get the price, and I'm like, there is no way I can carry that. These, again, are from a producer that I have worked with in the past, and I know their pricing, and it's not unreasonable whatsoever. So, if, let's say, we do decide on one of these teas, it is within possibility of something that we would carry. So I noticed this on the first steep, and that I'm getting a little bit, as I'm telling you, a hair darker color with the grade A. I'm getting florals, a lot of sweetness. I'm getting a very, very, very light hint of hay. Which, if you're drinking a silver needle that doesn't have any type of hay note, I'm confused. It's something that I've grown to love and know as a characteristic of this tea. Now this one is smelling, the grade B is smelling sweeter this steep. I'm getting a little bit more of that juiciness that the grade A had right off the bat. So I guess I could give you a little bit of a look at that, even though I'm sure the camera will not do it justice. Very little in terms of particulates of you see all the little micro floaties in there, but in terms of leaf, not a lot of there's broken leaf, but easily strained out by the Gaiwan. I'm sure I'm making you guys nervous by waving these around. You're like, oh, he better put those back. You better not be doing the old switcheroo. That dog. So here we go. Steep 2. Cheers. Ooh, okay. That one may be smelling more, slightly more fruity, but succulent. I'm getting a lot of honeysuckle. I'm getting that. I'm getting that really salvery triggering sensation where your mouth just starts not puckering from sourness, but you just get that, like, it's extremely sweet, but at the same time your salivary glands start to really go with this tea. So grade B. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of a leafy note, and spare the giggles, being that this is obviously leaf tea, but I'm getting that little, although I'm getting that stark, brisk freshness from the fresh spring pick of this tea. I take that back. So, if I'm drawing any early conclusions, I'll tell you that the grade A has you can tell it's more refined. It does have, if you are experienced with Taiwanese oolongs and you've tasted or felt the difference between a real low mountain tea and a really high mountain tea, the elevation, I think, is somewhat apparent in these teas, even thus far. I think you really are noticing the higher elevation with this tea. It's in the characteristics. It adds to the smoothness. It adds to the sweetness. It adds to that airy, that really beautiful airy quality. And it doesn't mean that the lower mountain can't have that. It's just we are drinking them side by side, so it's good to just be blunt about what's different from one than the other. We're going to go in reverse. We're going to drink the grade B first. Still getting that cucumber note. There's still sweetness. I'm still getting juiciness. Still a pretty tasty tea. Grade A. So much more sensation. Be that there's more texture for sure, but you get all these tiny little pinches and tickles throughout your salivary glands and your taste buds as you taste this tea. So this tea, the grade B, thus far I feel is more of a straight up experience. You take a sip of it, It tells you its secrets, and some of them are good, so you go, okay, that's enjoyable. This one just, the grade A, it doesn't really keep you guessing. It's not like a big mystery tea, but it really has some beautiful, mysterious kind of shifts to it, and it's got a real beautiful, like I've said, a high mountain essence to it. So whether that's a lot of cha ki or anything like that, talking energies, both these teas obviously are fairly caffeinated. I'm definitely already feeling the little tickle of that. This steep, since we went 40 on the last one, we're gonna go 50 on this steep. Oh, filled that up too much. So the liqueur are pretty identical this steep. Even down to how much particulate and how much kind of little materials floating around in there. It really does look pretty exact. I mean, if you were to, so the more I look at it, the more I think that the grade B over here actually is appearing to be a little bit darker. This one is just a touch lighter in color. With the leaves opening up, kind of what you would expect. They're beautiful and they're plumped up from being rehydrated. And so as I'm sitting here looking at the tea in the cups, if I can get this like little aerial view here, you can definitely tell that the B liqueur is a little bit darker this steep. So cheers, we're going to start with the grade A. There's a reason that the third steep is the favorite. I'm getting an interesting vegetal note that I definitely can't put my finger on. It's a cucumber-esque, a little bit of a squash essence to it too. Getting those beautiful florals. This one, the A screams smooth. I mean, I don't mean to get super, crazy with the imagery, but I think about getting into bed with fresh, clean, the softest sheets you've ever felt, and just, that you lay down and you just feel that just perfect, cool smoothness. That's what this A reminds me of. The grade B is more of a... I feel like the grade B is more of a defined silver needle. So if I had someone, or this is actually a good way to put this, because hey, we're sitting here, we're talking about the business stuff and how I make decisions and whatnot. Again, I'm only on the third steep, which is a fabulous steep, but there's still this, I have to keep drinking them and really have to test their limitations and see what their vulnerabilities are and whatnot. But this one, the grade B, would be an excellent silver needle for a cafe or a coffee shop. Not to brew Western, necessarily, but I think that this tea would scream something special in that type of environment. Even in some tea rooms, especially because of the appearance, I think that the grade B would still be a fantastic option. But if you're talking about more specialty vendors, you're talking about people that are paying the big bucks for their tea, but they do expect that high leaf, that real high leaf quality to come with. So thus far, I'm going just off that. This one is one to definitely consider for the store. This one is one that, you know, you would consider for a friend or for something like another business opportunity. And it's because you can't knock it. It's so, and I hate A, B, 1, 2. I mean, you just want to call one high mountain and one low mountain, but then I even feel like that's doing the same thing. And I don't mean to put lower mountain tea or this tea to shame. This is still a beautifully produced, if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the leaves as they're rehydrated, the grade A, along with the flavor, have a little bit of softer look to them. These slightly less vibrant. This one's a very, very, very... if you're a person who knows photo, if you went into Photoshop and you took a photo of these leaves and you took the saturation and you just very, very, very slightly turned it down, you would get this one. But in terms of the actual appearance of the leaf, in terms of the togetherness of the whole leaf and all that, the quality of the finished product, very, very beautiful. This, I mean, I guess B, I mean, if we're sitting here looking at it, we're looking at it with a deeper eye. This one is more just straight up whole buds. There's some broken leaf, but to get no broken leaf is kind of a silly expectation. This one, there's a little bit more broken leaf in there. But again, what are you aiming for? What's important to you in a Bai Hao Yin Zen? And so here I go saying I'm not crapping on it, but still crapping on it, because although this one I think is a fair suitor for our store, this one is a very, very fantastic silver needle that for other markets or for other vendors that sell to they just have a different layout of their store and a different how they carry certain teas and what teas they carry, and this would be a fantastic tea. And I think if you were to order this B from a store and you didn't pay an exorbitant price for it, I think you would be very happy with what you got. That being said, if you paid... Now, in all fairness, let's take that to the other extreme. Would I pay an extremely high price for this one? I'll tell you, I'm tasting it and I'm very impressed. I really, really do love the texture of this tea. I really love the flavors. I really like the aromas. Obviously, as I've already mentioned, the appearance is nice. But I'll tell you, this tea for sure would have a threshold on it for me in terms of price. I know that I took a peek at the prices and they were both very workable. Now, again, same prices last year when I looked at them, but the thing with last year was that I didn't feel that the enjoyment of the tea just wasn't to the price point. So I passed on it last year. But this year they, reached out and they're like, we'd really like you to try it again. And obviously I love drinking, fooding, white tea in general. So I was down for it completely. But each year it really is I need to taste it and see. So we're going to do one last infusion at 1 minute each. So let's get our kettle straight up to temp. And we're going to, again, do a steeping time of 1 minute on each, and we'll see where we're at. No, I think it's just one. Okay, sorry about that. Corona! Mm-hmm. So here we are in our last infusion. If we take a look at the liqueur, just about the same. If I have, actually, you can see that there is a thicker viscosity in the Silver Needle A. So again, this has been a 1 minute infusion on, funny enough, our fourth steep, which some people on Silver Needle, they start with more than 1 minute. So the fact that I guess that we've been able to get this many steeps out of these two teas this far is actually quite impressive. Again, it says a lot for each producer that have really done a fantastic job. This tea, the B, is not starting to fade in flavor, but you can feel it beginning to plateau. This Silver Needle definitely still feels like it has a good amount of change and steeping left in it. And it's got a rounder, sweeter body, almost similar to something like an oolong. So even if maybe, say, the flavor or the aromas start to fade, the liqueur is still going to be very, very pleasant to drink. I'll tell you guys, this is a tough one because I really love Silver Needle. I really do. It is a tea that I always want to carry, but like I said, finance usually screws that up. This one, the grade B, was excellent. I really liked its softer, kind of more gentle start, but I really loved the body, the liqueur, the aromas, the flavors, the longevity. So again, please don't take this as me saying that the B is bad. It is definitely not a bad tea. But if we're talking about consideration for the types of teas that I like to carry, this one holds a lot of promise. This one, even if this one were not here or part of the decision making, I don't think this one would be of quality to make it. So that being said, time will tell and we'll see what teas we carry. But if you guys have any more requests for videos like this, please shoot them over. We're going to have more because we have many more teas to taste this spring. But thank you guys a ton. Hopefully you were able to enjoy some tea with us. Have a really great day. Like, subscribe, and follow other tea creatives. Thank you guys. Stay healthy, stay good, and good day.